What I've got here is a Cub original rear end. I'm in the middle of starting to do a Predator 212 swap for this tractor. If you know anything about them, you know that the Predators run backwards from a Kohler motor. So what I've got to do to make that run right is I've got to flip the carrier. This is going to be a video about flipping the carrier and how I do it. May or may not be right what everybody else does, but this is how I do it. First thing I'm going to do is just knock the axles off and get them out of my way, and I'll get it up on the bench and I'll show you how I do this. Alright, as you can see, got the axles off. A little bit of water came out, nothing to worry about. I'm taking the covers off, rear cover off here, and your bearing plates. Go ahead and get all this stuff cleaned up. Oh, there's your carrier, and as you can see, a little bit of water in there. That would cause it to have me drag both wheels when I was moving it around before I did tear down on it. So it's got a little bit. I'm not totally concerned about it, but we'll get it all cleaned up and emptied out. Next step is to go ahead and pull these bolts on both sides. And then after I get that out, we'll be able to pull the carrier completely out, and I'll show you how that goes back together. The passenger side one always seems to be the easier one to get out, because it's not recessed into there. I had to use a little hammer to try to get it into there. Now pay attention, you got these shims here. Yeesh. I think we're going to be buying some seals for this tractor too. You can see outside the spring right there is broke on the seal, so I had to order some seals for this thing before it goes back together. And if you notice too, these shims only go a certain way. So that's one half of your bearing out. You can notice the carrier's nice and loose in there. Definitely some nastiness inside this rear end. That's for sure. We'll get the other side started and I'll be right back. All right, let's pull these caps off. Yeah, some nasty stuff there. So you want to end up trying to get this totally freed up and moving. You can see I'm moving it there. And I got to get the bearing pieces out of each side. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Let me get those started and I'll be right back. All right, so what I ended up doing was taking a hammer and hitting right inside of here to knock this other bearing side out. See, the seals are screwed up on this one too, so we're gonna have to get seals on order for both sides and go from there. I'm gonna put this to this side so I know which one goes where. I'm just gonna kind of reach in here a little bit, rotate it around, and voila, your carrier is out. It's the perfect time right now to go through and clean all the nastiness out of here, check your bearings and everything else. Just basically got to get the nastiness out of here and we should be good to go. Oh, come on. All right, so we'll get this stuff scraped out. What I'll probably do is knock the seals out of this rear. This way I can get everything reassembled and just come back through and put the seals back in at the one shot and go from there. Yeah. Some serious nasty stuff in here. That's for sure. Some nice good lube to this, and she'll be perfectly fine. I'm gonna throw something in here to kind of clean some of that out some. So, well, as you can see, it's a lot cleaner inside of there. So now we'll go to the next part, which is putting the carrier back in. So we came out this way. Flipping the carrier means we're going back in this way. And it's kind of a finessing job. It can kind of drive you crazy, or sometimes it'll flop right in and you don't have to think about it. Sometimes it helps to go in through the side. Like such. So now, with the way this motor's set up, we will have 3 forwards and 1 reverse, like you're supposed to. Because if you don't do this with a Predator swap, you end up with 3 reverses and 1 forward. Now what I do, this is the side that came out of this side, this goes to this side. Just what I was told to do. But before I do that, I'm going to knock these seals out of here so I can bolt this back together and basically call it the end of our video. Alright, so our seals are removed. Like I said, I'll put those back in once I have them here. But you'll also notice, like I said before, this is not totally a triangle. So you gotta get that placed back in there correctly. The easiest way to cheat is take one of your shims, line it up and go, hey, that's right there. So you know which way is what. Got them all lined up nice and pretty. Carrier up. Get one side kind of started. Do the same thing. Put the other shim back on there. Do the same thing over here. So you can get a really good idea of where everything is. Same deal here. A few little love taps with the old hammer. As you're going in, verify your placement of your bolts. Go ahead and get one started. You can start getting it ran home. Get our other side back in here. You gotta watch your shims too to make sure that your shims are in the right spot. They don't walk and move on you, because you'll have a nightmare of a time trying to get everything lined back up that way. Again, grab one of our bolts. wear off a little bit. Rotate her around just a little. I think we might have went too far there. There's one of our seals that just came out. Come on, line up. You can also use a smaller screwdriver to go into alignment and be able to make sure you get everything where it needs to be as far as your alignment goes. Alright, we can run these back in, tight just a little for now. Go to the other side, put our other side back in there. Alright, that's pretty much it. I'll go through and double check how tight everything is. Torque specs, I couldn't tell you, I really don't know. I go by the fact of, yep, it's tight. Yep, it's tight. Yep, it's tight. That's definitely not tight. That's tight, and that's tight. So now you can see we've got rotation. So I think I'm going to end this video here. Basically from there it's going to be a matter of, like I said, new seals for the axles here. I just use RTV on a gear drive. Everybody says not to. I don't see a problem with it. Use RTV to cover up your back hole, both axles back on, and after that put your tractor together. Well, in this case, paint it and put your tractor back together. So thank you all for watching.